Shanghai is hundreds of years old, with its former heyday in the 1930s, home to one of the world's greatest Art Deco scenes and a place where cinema first began in China. It just shows how everything changes and can change again. Shanghai is well known for thrusting its way into the future while retaining the charm of its storied past. The historic area known as the Bund is the most famous example of this, but there are others. One of the most interesting and valuable examples of this today is an area known as Tianzifan. Right now I'm with Brian Butler, who's going to talk to us much more about this evolving city. Brian, what's happening around here?
Essentially right now we're in the Luan district of Shanghai. We're in a place called Tianzifan. It's an old Shanghainese style homes which are called the lane houses or Li Nongfang in Chinese. It's interesting to see because we're seeing the old Shanghainese style homes but yet brand new grade A development sites coming up right across the street.
So these homes were built when? In the early 1900s?
Yeah, we're seeing the old Shanghainese style lane houses developed anywhere between the early 1900s and the mid 1900s.
Okay, talk me through those. I mean, they're a bit like those sort of old little corridor properties that you had in sort of Victorian England, right? Tiny little narrow alleyways in between.
Yeah, absolutely. So essentially, you can look at the lane houses in two different categories. One is a pre-1930 and post-1930. Now, before 1930, we're seeing the lane houses are essentially 2 to 3 stories high. They won't have electricity, running water, or toilets necessarily. They use more of a community area to do the bathing and cooking. After 1930, there's an increase in demand in this type of housing. The population has grown, so then we're seeing more modern day features.
What you're also seeing these days are dozens of trendy shops, restaurants, coffee bars and art galleries. As I walk around this area, it's amazing to note that about 60% of the old lane houses are still here, yet they're being modernised and the rents have climbed sky high along with it. So what kind of families actually lived here then?
It's the old Shanghainese families that are residing here from the early 19 and mid 1900s. Essentially, there's multiple families that reside in one lane house. The lane houses would be 3 to 4 floors, and one family would live on each floor, which may range from 30 to 50 square meters.
So 300 square feet, one family. So you've got 4 families in a block which now sells handbags or coffee, right?
Absolutely.
Incredible. And the people that are selling these now, they're collectively bargaining together, the families, and they're making their money and they're shipping out, but where are they going?
It depends on the premium that they can charge for it. If it's a prime area, they'll most likely go to a new grade A residential complex. If it's a mid-income level, then they'll probably relocate to the suburbs, or what they call in Chinese jiaoshu.
Okay, so it's not just the rich and famous that are buying real estate in Shanghai then?
No, you can find opportunity for everybody.
Okay, so we're absolutely melting here, as you can see. So now we're going to go a bit more upmarket. I thought you said upscale. You've got to be kidding me. I guess at least it has got aircon of a sort of kind.
Kind of. I mean, this is upscale for Shanghai. This is the future here. This is on the market for over 10 million US right now.
You're joking. So what's the story with this? I mean, why is it like this? When was it built? I mean, what's the story?
Essentially, like I said before, we have the lane houses and we also have the garden villa. The garden villa is known as a bieshu in Chinese. Essentially, developed probably in the early 1900s. A lot of the times you can see from the architecture it's not for a Chinese but maybe a foreign national that was living here before the 1940s.
Okay, and how many of these are there? A lot of these knocking around?
There are. We don't know the total amount, but we know that the available stock right now in the market is under 100.
In the whole city?
In the whole city.
19 million people. It may look deserted and run down, but most of these houses are just 10 minutes from the central business district. There's also a guard building, which is frankly larger than the homes that many local families live in here. And once one fixes a place like this up, the yields today are actually higher than most popular grade A residential blocks in the city. I come in here with a coat of paint, a few of my mates get together, we make this look fantastic. What are we going to be selling this for?
Really depends on the market, and it's such a niche market. Depends on who we're going to be targeting, the target audience, but anywhere upwards of 30–40% above what you paid for it.
Wow, 15–20 million. 15–20 million for that. And it hasn't even got any aircon. Shanghai is a unique Asian city due to the fact that it's building straight into the future, but it's still recognising many of its old historic buildings. Granted, there are money-hungry developers who aren't concerned about the past. Yet there is also Filippo Gabbiani, an architect I met who is patiently explaining why conserving buildings can still be profitable and an economic success.
This is one of our recent projects that we did for Richmond Group. Actually, we came here to China in early stage, so around 1999-2000, because we know quite well the country. We keep on traveling in the past, and we try to come here to open a different kind of market that did not exist before in China. That was the one to make historical renovations of the heritage. And the Shanghai is absolutely not a Chinese city. It's a city colonial, so it had a structure extremely complex and very precious.
This is what it looks like inside the Key Club, a private members' hideaway which originated in Hong Kong. The interior is tasteful, refined, and retains a clear sense of history. When I look closely, I can also see brand name luxury shops occupying the same site.
Here, of course, the retail business and the retail market is still very immature and still growing. It's not yet at the level of Hong Kong, where the markets have been done in a very mature way. And so to take these kind of buildings that have a subtle message of heritage and class, and to bring them to a renovation point of view, and to teach and to introduce to the clientele here the real value that there is inside, it's one of the key success.
So people realise now you can't sell a 200-year-old Swiss watch from a neon-clad brand new building.
Of course, but the things are getting very faster and better also in China for this kind of market. I mean, we are specialized for Richmond Group. We design flagship boutiques as well.
In addition to the Key Club, Gabbiani and his team have also garnered acclaim for their work on the Bund 18 project, and in the process have been recognised by UNESCO. The local government has also recognised the value of their renovations, and in turn, they're putting more laws into place to preserve buildings. The byproduct of all this is more competition, which Gabbiani welcomes.
We hope to see in the future much more competition. It's not a matter of...
Absolutely. More competition means you get more of the old buildings staying around.
More competition means that there is more people that understand this kind of procedure and this kind of value, and they try to make it even bigger and bigger. Shanghai, for example, it's a city that has more than 2 million square meters in the center of the city of old factories. Because as all the cities before, it was a city, factory and trade. This was a city made by colonialists. So each district has his own huge areas of warehouses and old factories, and they are still in the center of the city because when Shanghai expanded, englobed inside all these realities. And these buildings has a potential value on the market, unbelievable. Unbelievable.
You're never going to get away. There's too much work for you.
We did a lot, but there is still a lot to do. We enjoy it.
Well, there you go. I think if there's money in it, then it's going to keep going, and that's the great thing about this market. There's money in renovating these old buildings, so fortunately with people like Filippo, there's a lot to look forward to. Okay, enough property. Shanghai is also about food, and it's very famous for its dumplings, and apparently this is the place to get them. Dumplings are plentiful in Shanghai and recognised as one of the most filling and affordable cuisines in the city. Everywhere one turns, you can see these family-styled restaurants where the fryer is sizzling, the fresh fish are one tank away from the table, and the service is attentive. One caveat though, it can be difficult in the city if you don't know the lingo. Huh? 4 yuan. Too much. So that's about $12 US, and apparently it's too much. Okay, so this is it. Samjuan Yan, I think it is. No, it isn't. Samyumbo. There you go. Second time lucky. What do I? Sinjembo. Have you got chopsticks or anything? Hey, what's your name? Have you got chopsticks? This place is absolutely crazy. Oh my God! I've ruined my shirt. Very good. Very good. When Buying Asia returns, we go shopping for big values. And what else have you been buying in the last 5 years?
We've been buying retail assets, office buildings, hotels, and residential development projects.
And I'll explain why there's no Tim's place in China.